What the heck just happened? I'm trying, oh, I know what happened. I'm trying to get my Facebook Live going here and
I'm starting my live stream.
oh, you do a live stream? Oh, you mean Zoom?
I think I live stream through YouTube and Facebook. Or I don't know.
Maybe. For some strange reason, I'm not seeing the icon I need to see on screen, so. Huh. Oh, it changes when you flip it that way. Right now, my phone is saying starting live video, but it hasn't actually started yet.
It takes a couple seconds.
Yeah, but it doesn't normally take this long. And I don't know what is going on. And I've got a bad internet connection here a lot of times. You know, I'll be in the middle of a Zoom session with my classes, and this little notice will come up saying, unstable internet connection. There we are, we're on. We're hello, everyone, how you doing? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's Sunday, and here, I don't know where you are right now, or when you're listening to this, if you don't happen to listen to our broadcast, to our program live at 10 a.m. Regularly on Sunday mornings. But whatever time of day it is where you are, and whatever day it is where you are, to all the ladies out there, and to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. And to all the mother figures, male or female, happy Mother's Day. We're here every Sunday at 10 a.m. But normally I am joined by a couple of people. We've got a Zoom feed going, and we've got this Facebook Live feed going. My name is Tony Ballard, for anyone who doesn't know. And the people that are usually with us, Daryl. If you've joined us before, you know that Daryl is usually with me, and he's not here today. And Nene is not here. Sometimes Nene is unable to be here, but she is enjoying Mother's Day with her son today. And so she's not with us today. But we are going to go ahead and begin. How you doing, Tarnay?
Good.
You're doing well?
Good, yeah.
We have Camby's and we have Farah, and anyone else that may choose to join us. Now, I was so busy. We've been having some technical issues because, again, if you're someone who is not, who has joined us before, you probably joined us and know that this was not our regular location. Right now, I'm at home, and this is where we are. There's Camby's, and Joan Mcgovern is joining us this morning. Good morning, Joan. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, and happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you very much.
It's wonderful to see you.
All the mothers in the Florida area.
What was that again now?
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the Florida area.
Thank you.
Blessed is the spot and the house and the place and the city and the heart and the mountain and the refuge and the cave and the valley and the land and the sea and the island and the meadow where mention of God hath been made, and his praise Again, good morning to everyone. I think I'll go ahead and say it right now that we have people that are usually a part of our Zoom, and there's Daryl and other people that we know are having difficulties in their families, and so our prayers go out to them. And so we ask that you keep them in your prayers as well. I'm going to start with prayer, as a matter of fact. Oh God, my God, praise be unto thee for kindling the fire of divine love in the holy tree on the summit of the loftiest mountain. That tree which is, I'm pausing because I'm having an issue here, a little vision issue. That tree which is neither of the east or of the west. That fire which blazed out till the flame of it soared upward to the concourse on high. And from it, those realities caught the light of guidance and cried out, verily have we perceived a fire on the slope of Mount Sinai. O God, my God, increase thou this fire as day followeth day, till the blast of it setteth in motion all the earth. O thou, my Lord, kindle the light of thy love in every heart. Breathe unto men's souls the spirit of thy knowledge. Gladden their breasts with the verses of thy oneness. Call thou to life those who dwell in their tombs. Warn thou the prideful. Make happiness worldwide. Send down thy crystal waters. And to the assemblage of manifest speakers, pass round that cup, which is tempered at the camphor fountain. Verily art thou the giving, the forgiving, the ever bestowing. Verily art thou the merciful, the compassionate. And this is a prayer by Abdul Baha. And I am going to get my glasses. So one moment, please. Whoa, there are words there. Well, as you know, I'm the only one here. No Nene, no Daryl, but we have Joan, and we have Farah, and we have Cambiz, and we have Taranay, and I know Gilbert popped in for a moment there. Maybe he'll be back. But today, what we're talking about, again, from Baha'u'llah's teachings on spiritual reality, we're looking at chapter 3. And chapter 3 is a really, really, really important topic. Every chapter in here is important, let's face it. But in this day and time, it might be important to consider the importance of belief in God. And so this chapter is just about that. It's actually called Believing in God, and it's actually rather short. But I'd like you all to consider why you believe in God. Have you always believed in God? Has your faith or belief in God ever wavered while we're talking about these things? And for the people in the Zoom stream, feel free to unmute yourself and chime in if you choose to. So again, we're going to be talking about believing in God. Is that Dahlia? We see Dahlia through our Facebook feed. Hello, Dahlia. How are you doing? This is coming from Abdul Baha. This people, all of them, have pictured a God in the realm of the mind and worship that image which they have made for themselves. And yet that image is comprehended, the human mind being the comprehender thereof, and certainly the comprehender is greater than that which lieth within its grasp. I mean, if you made it up, you're greater than that creation in your mind. For imagination is but the branch, while mind is the root, and certainly the root is greater than the branch. Consider then how all the peoples of the world are bowing the knee to a fancy of their own contriving. How they have created a creator within their own minds, and they call it the fashioner of all that is, whereas in truth, it is but an illusion. Thus are the people worshiping only an error of perception. So Abdul Baha is saying that, that we're imagining something that we call God. He's not saying there is no God. So again, I just want to make that distinction. The next passage comes from Baha'u'llah. To every discerning and illuminated heart, it is evident that God, the unknowable essence, the divine being, is immensely exalted beyond every human attribute, such as corporeal existence, in other words, physical existence, ascent and descent, coming and going, egress and regress, moving forward, moving backwards, making progress or losing ground. Far be it from his glory that human tongue should adequately recount his praise. I'm going to read that again. Far be it from his glory that human tongue should adequately recount his praise, or that human heart comprehend his fathomless mystery. It is far beyond anything that we can comprehend. He being God, he is and hath ever been veiled in the ancient eternity of his essence, and will remain in his reality, everlastingly hidden from the sight of men. I'll read that again too. God is, and hath ever been veiled in the ancient eternity of his essence, and will remain in his reality, everlastingly hidden from the sight of men. So, I actually have a good friend. Wait a minute, is that Jamie? No, that's not Jamie. Okay, I thought it was Jamie. I have a good friend who is an atheist. I do have friends who are atheists, and we get along quite well. But we have an ongoing, I've known some people for years and, that are atheists, and we have an ongoing conversation. And one of my good friends often will, say when we get into these in this conversation about the existence of God and so forth, she'll jokingly say, well, just bring God on in here. Let me talk to him, her, or it. And, I'll believe in God. And of course, that stops me in my tracks every time. But this explains why. God is and hath ever been veiled in the ancient eternity of his essence, and will remain in his reality, everlastingly hidden from the sight of men. Let's continue. And good morning. Someone just joined us. Hello, how you doing? I'm seeing that in the Facebook feed. It's too far away for me to see the name, but good morning. This is coming from Abdul Baha. All the prophets and apostles longed and prayed for nearness to the Creator. How many nights they passed in sleepless yearning for this station. How many days they devoted to supplication for this attainment, seeking ever to draw nigh unto him. But nearness to God is not an easy accomplishment. Nearness to God is dependent upon purity of the heart and exhilaration of the spirit through the glad tidings of the kingdom. I'll read that again. Nearness to God is dependent upon purity of the spirit and exhilaration of the, I'm sorry, purity of the heart and exhilaration of the spirit through the glad tidings of the kingdom. Consider how a pure, well-polished mirror fully reflects the effulgence of the sun, no matter how distant that sun may be. As soon as the mirror is cleaned and purified, the sun will manifest itself. The more pure and sanctified the heart of man becomes, the nearer it draws to God, and the light of the sun of reality is revealed within it. We must purify ourselves from the mire and soil of earthly contact until our hearts become as mirrors in clearness, and the light of the most great guidance reveals itself in them. I'm going to read that again. We must purify ourselves from the mire and soil of earthly contact until our hearts become as mirrors in clearness, and the light of the most great guidance reveals itself in them. You know, as I was reading this, I started thinking about my own upbringing. We were taken to church, and I still remember there being a lot of books, some children's books and so forth, of course, in church, but also at home. My parents always had books and things having to do, with religion and spirituality and so forth. Some of them were children's books. And so, that belief in God was fostered in us from a very early age. And yet, there are people that did not have the benefit of that kind of an upbringing, shall we say, or call it a benefit or whatever, that kind of upbringing. And yet many still have that either longing, we're on that search, that spiritual search. We want to have that sense of the existence of the Creator. We want to have that sense that we somehow have a connection. And this is telling us, basically, it doesn't depend on this imagining a being. It depends on how we cleanse ourselves. And so a lot of those things that we're taught, this being Mother's Day, a lot of those things that we're taught by our good mothers takes us closer, I believe, to actually having an experience that involves the presence of God, that involves the nearness of God, and that helps us have a greater understanding of who we are supposed to be as human beings. To the folks in the Zoom feed, anyone that wants to kind of share in relation to, let's say, your own upbringing or your own, just what brought you as an adult to actually deciding, yes, this is something I want to continue. Because as you know, as Baha'is, when we turn 15, if you're raised in a Baha'i home, it's time that you make a choice. And the choice doesn't have to be Baha'i. The choice doesn't have to be God. And yet, many, I would dare say, it might be safe to say most, choose the faith, and even if they don't, they still continue in most cases to have some sense of connection to God. I'm going to take a moment out and do a song. If Jesus has your heart, I understand. I know he shed his blood for all of man. If Moses is the one who is your guide, his story put the love of God inside your heart in every age. God sends his spirit God sends his word. God sends his love. And in this age, it's nearer than your life's blood. God's love has come in Baha'u'llah. In Baha'u'llah. In Baha'u'llah. God's love has come in Baha'u'llah. In Baha'u'llah. In Baha'u'llah. God's love has come in Baha'u'llah. Adam, Noah, Krishna, Abraham, Zoroaster, Buddha, Muhammad, and the Bahá'í. In every age, God sends his spirit. God sends his word. God sends his love. And in this age, it's nearer than your life's blood. God's love has come in Baha'u'llah. In Baha'u'llah. In Baha'u'llah. God's love has come in Baha'u'llah. In Baha'u'llah. In Baha'u'llah. God's love has come 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 in Baha'u'llah. I like that song, I'll admit. I don't know how anyone else feels about it. But it speaks to the fact that God constantly is sending messengers throughout the ages, sending guidance constantly, and primarily through prophets. And many of these prophets, all of these prophets we refer to as messengers. Some of them are actually manifestations of God. And so that's what that song is about, different manifestations of God. To continue, again, we are looking at chapter 3 from Baha'u'llah's teachings on spiritual reality. And we are reading about believing in God. And we're going to start again back to that last line that we read. We must purify ourselves from the mire and soil of earthly contact until our hearts become as mirrors in clearness, and the light of the most great guidance reveals itself in them. Abdu'l-Baha goes on to say, Baha'u'llah proclaims in the hidden words that God inspires his servants and is revealed through them. Baha'u'llah proclaims in the hidden words that God inspires his servants and is revealed through them. Now, I want to make it clear, servants is not capitalized. That means that we're talking about anyone. God inspires anyone who attempts to be a servant of God and is revealed through them. He says, thy heart is my home. Sanctify it for my descent. Thy spirit, thy spirit is my place of revelation. Cleanse it for my manifestation. So, you're looking for the revelation? Look within yourself. Thy spirit is my place of revelation. Cleanse it for my manifestation. Therefore, we learn, Abdu'l-Baha continues, therefore we learn that nearness to God is possible through devotion to him, through entrance into the kingdom and service to humanity. That's worth reading again. We learn that nearness to God is possible through devotion to him, through entrance into the kingdom and service to humanity. It is attained by unity with mankind and through loving kindness to all. We're talking again about believing in God, and that believing in God comes out of a sense of nearness to God. And Abdu'l-Baha has just told us how to have that nearness. Devotion to him through entrance into the kingdom and service to humanity. It is attained by unity with mankind and through loving kindness to all. It is dependent upon investigation of truth, acquisition of praiseworthy virtues, service in the cause of universal peace and personal sanctification. Nearness is likeness. Nearness is likeness. You want to have that sense of nearness to God? Obviously, you cannot be God, but you can try and develop godly attributes. It is attained by unity with mankind and through loving kindness to all. It is dependent upon investigation of truth, acquisition of praiseworthy virtues, service in the cause of universal peace and personal sanctification. Nearness is likeness. And then from the Universal House of Justice. And for anyone who, again, might be joining us and might not even know what the Universal House of Justice is, it is the main governing body, global governing organization for the Baha'i faith. And from the Universal House of Justice, the next passage says, the endowments which distinguish the human race from all other forms of life are summed up in what is known as the human spirit. I'm going to read that again. The endowments which distinguish the human race from all other forms of life are summed up in what is known as the human spirit. The mind is its essential quality. These endowments have enabled humanity to build civilizations and to prosper materially. But such accomplishments alone have never satisfied the human spirit. Such accomplishments alone have never satisfied the human spirit, whose mysterious nature inclines it towards transcendence, or reaching towards an invisible realm, towards the ultimate reality, that unknowable essence of essences called God. I think that's worth a repeat too. The endowments which distinguish the human race from all other forms of life are summed up in what is known as the human spirit. The mind is its essential quality. These endowments have enabled humanity to build civilizations and to prosper materially. But such accomplishments alone have never satisfied the human spirit, whose mysterious nature inclines it towards transcendence, or reaching towards an invisible realm, towards the ultimate reality, that unknowable essence of essences called God. So with all of our material accomplishments, somehow they don't really give us that sense of fulfillment. We could keep wanting more and more and more and more and more. Where do we get that more from? We get it by developing a sense of nearness to God through all those attributes that Abdu'l-Baha shared with us. Now, the hidden words was mentioned in an earlier passage here. And for anyone who might not be familiar with the hidden words, it's part of the Revelation of Baha'u'llah. And it's a small book, a very thin book. You can read it in a matter of, an hour, maybe two, if you don't fly through it. And it's just a collection of very brief verses. And they are all giving spiritual guidance. I bring that up because several of these next verses, they don't all come from the hidden words, but many of them do. And all of these are from Baha'u'llah. Here's one. This is not a full verse, but the spirit that animateth the human heart is the knowledge of God. Say that again. The spirit that animateth the human heart is the knowledge of God. From Gleanings. I'm sorry, this next one is also from the hidden word. Thou art my lamp, and my light is in thee. Get thou from it thy radiance, and seek none other than me, for I have created thee rich, and have bountifully shed my favor upon thee. So for those of us that, are on this constant quest for wealth and wealth and wealth, well, you already have that. Might not be material wealth, but you already have that. You were created rich. I have created thee rich and have bountifully shed my favor upon thee. This next one, and I was wrong actually. This next one is actually coming from, I'm actually looking at the wrong thing here. Give me just a moment. Here we are. Actually, this next one is from the hidden words. I'm sorry. The light hath shone on thee from the horizon of the sacred mount, and the spirit of enlightenment hath breathed in the Sinai of thy heart. Wherefore, free thyself from the veils of idle fancies, and enter into my court, that thou mayest be fit for everlasting life and worthy to meet me. Thus may death not come upon thee, neither weariness nor trouble. I feel like I should read that again. The light hath shone on thee from the horizon of the sacred mount, and the spirit of enlightenment hath breathed in the Sinai of thy heart. Wherefore, free thyself from the veils of idle fancies, and enter into my court, that thou mayest be fit for everlasting life and worthy to meet me. Thus may death not come upon thee, neither weariness nor trouble. So again, this is the word of God beckoning to us that hey, first of all, you're created rich. You've just got the type of wealth is the wrong thing that you are thinking. You're created rich. And if you want to have that sense of nearness to God, free yourself from the veils of idle fancies, those imaginary images and so forth that we dream of, and these ideas of what's going to satisfy that longing that we have. Free thyself from the veils of idle fancies and enter into my court, that thou mayest be fit for everlasting life and worthy to meet me. Here's another. I have breathed within thee a breath of my own spirit, that thou mayest be my lover. Why hast thou forsaken me and sought a beloved other than me? I have breathed within thee a breath of my own spirit, that thou mayest be my lover. Why hast thou forsaken me and sought a beloved other than me? And there are many other verses in the revealed word of Baha'u'llah where again, he being a manifestation of God, revealing the word of God, we are constantly referred to or frequently referred to as lovers of God. And yet that title only applies if indeed we are trying to be a lover of God. He again tells us that we are created rich. I created thee rich. Why dost thou bring thyself down to poverty? Almost sounds like, like a mother or a father chastising us. Like, why are you doing this? I created thee rich. Why dost thou bring thyself down to poverty? Noble I made thee. Wherewith dost thou abase thyself? I made you noble. Why are you putting yourself so low? Out of the essence of knowledge, I gave thee being. Why seekest thou enlightenment from anyone beside me? Out of the clay of love, I molded thee. How dost thou busy thyself with another? I don't know about you, but when I'm reading this, I'm just feeling this heavy pall of guilt. Turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee, mighty, powerful, and self-subsisting. I think I want to print that out and put it on my refrigerator door. I created thee rich. Why dost thou bring thyself down to poverty? Noble I made thee. Wherewith dost thou abase thyself? Out of the essence of knowledge, I gave thee being. Why seekest thou enlightenment from anyone beside me? Out of the clay of love I molded thee. How dost thou busy thyself with another? Turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee, mighty, powerful, and self-subsisting. And I'm going to do another song here. I haven't even decided what it is, but I just have that. Here we are. One moment. I'm having a little trouble fumbling with things here. There we are. Unto thee have I raised my hands, O Lord, and in thee have I found sheltering support, O Lord. And unto thee have I resigned myself, O Lord, and upon thee have I placed my whole reliance, O Lord. Unto thee have I raised my hands, O Lord, and in thee have I found sheltering support, O Lord. And unto thee have I resigned myself, O Lord, and upon thee have I placed my whole reliance, O Lord. And by thee am I strengthened, by thee am I strengthened, by thee am I strengthened, O Lord. And by thee am I strengthened, by thee am I strengthened, by thee am I strengthened, O Lord. Unto thee have I raised my hands, O Lord, and in thee have I found sheltering support, O Lord. And under thee have I resigned myself, O Lord, and upon thee have I placed my whole reliance, O Lord, and by thee am I strengthened, by thee am I strengthened, by thee am I strengthened, O Lord, and by thee am I strengthened, by thee am I strengthened, by thee am I strengthened, O Lord, by thee am I strengthened, O Lord, by thee am I strengthened, O Lord. That song is actually based on a prayer, as many of them are, of course. And it's a prayer from by the Bob. And maybe I'll read it later if we have time. This is our final passage. Again, for anyone who may have joined us later, we're talking today, we're still reading from Baha'u'llah's teachings on spiritual reality. And we're looking at chapter 3, believing in God. And this is the last passage. I should point out before I read this that in the writings of Baha'u'llah, Baha'u'llah often refers to God as the friend, the friend. Give ear to the sayings of the friend and turn towards his paradise. Worldly friends, seeking their own good, appear to love one the other, whereas the true friend hath loved and doth love you for your own sakes. Be not disloyal to such a friend, nay, rather hasten unto him. Such is the day star of the word of truth and faithfulness that hath dawned above the horizon of the pen of the Lord of names. Open your ears that ye may hearken unto the word of God, the help in peril, the self-existent. Give ear to the sayings of the friend and turn towards his paradise. So again, here we are talking about believing in God, and we've just read a number of passages telling us, okay, first of all, you're looking in the wrong place. You might be imagining your own ideas of what God is or who God is, but if it's something that you personally can imagine, that image you have dreamed up is less than yourself. Because if you can imagine it, you're greater than what you've imagined. And we're also told if we really want to, experience the presence of God, we accomplish that by working to cleanse ourselves and allowing his word to work through us. Abdu'l-Baha tells us about the importance of the unity of mankind, working for unity of mankind, loving everyone. You want to have that experience of God, then you have to, again, acknowledge that within yourself. The word of Baha'u'llah tells us if you want to find God, he's there, he's within you. You have to allow it. You have to allow the guidance of God to guide you as you show that love for others. We're going to go ahead now and take some time out for prayers. I see something here. Oh, above. Okay. Yes, from God above. So we're going to have some time for prayers. And of course, we always like to start with our Camby's moment. Camby's, do you have something to share with us today?
Sure.
All righty.
خدایا این طیر حدیقه عرفان را بال و پری عطا فرما و این پروانه شمع محبت را قرب و منزلتی احسان کن سرگشته صحرای عشق را به خلوت خانه عنایت دلالت کن و این تشنه بادیه هجران را به بحر لقای روحانی بکشان. این بنده قدیم را ندیم بزم الطاف کن و این فقیر مسکین را به غنای حقیقی مستغنا گردان.
Thank you, Kanbi.
You're welcome.
Today being Mother's Day, I wanted to share 3 short quotes on wives being mothers. The first one is from Franz Schubert. Happy is the man who finds a true friend, and far happier is he who finds that true friend in his wife. The second one is from Socrates. By all means marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. The third one is from Nietzsche. When marrying, ask yourself this question. Do you believe that you will be able to converse well with this person into your old age? Everything else in marriage is transitory.
Thank you, Farah.
Tony,
Yes.
I was thinking along the same lines. O handmaid of God, to the mothers must be given the divine teachings and effective counsel, and they must be encouraged and made eager to train their children, for the mother is the first educator of the child. It is she who must, at the very beginning, suckle the newborn at the breast of God's faith and God's law, that divine love may enter unto him, even with his mother's milk, and be with him until his final breath.
Thank you, Joan. I guess I should keep talking while I'm doing this. I was moving our, our Facebook camera. I'm always concerned about, when we share this onto Facebook. I'm always concerned that if anyone watches our program later on, that we'll have these weird moments of silence and where things are happening where they don't understand what's going on. But thank you very much, Joan. If anyone else would like to share a prayer. Now one thing that we don't normally get is people that put things in chat. And Joan, you did put something in chat. I appreciate that. And I actually was able to see it. And I'm going to